Greetings, Threshold World fam. This is Melanie here today. Excited for our third video. So today we're talking about how you showing up online. So we have talked about having a mentor. We've talked about making sure you're reading over that syllabus, but we have got to get to the nitty-gritty of it all. How you showing up online for real. So I jotted down some things that I feel you definitely need to know, and let's just get into it, shall we? So first of all, what I want you to do is make sure that you check your syllabus, your email, your Blackboard, or whatever internal platform is being used at your college, just to communicate. Make sure you check it prior to your scheduled class time for any updates. You want to make sure that you have access to the correct links, and you want to make sure that you're all set. So that is number one. Number two is, actually, I have an example. So I have an example before I go into number two. Today, my mentee actually, don't kill me for telling you stories. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. So my mentee actually contacted me, and told me just recently, she contacted me and she was just like, you know, it's the first day of classes and I cannot get into, she couldn't get into the system that she was told to get into. And the great thing about what she did though, and even contacting me, see, is the fact that it was way before her class started. So it must have been like, it was definitely more than a half an hour. Definitely more than a half an hour to the time her class was scheduled to start. I happened to work at the school of my mentee. So, you know, schools, you know, have like some faculty staff, mentors, and, you know, so that's, you know, it's a good thing, you know, for cases such as this. But, you know, she wrote like emergency in her email. She was playing no games, cause she had already tried to contact her professor, and the professor, he hadn't returned her email as yet. And so I even emailed the professor, and I was able to get a response. And so, hey, some perks for you all. Make sure you get that mentor that's a faculty member, if they have that, if possible, faculty as staff member. But yeah, so he did respond, but unfortunately not the answer that we were looking for necessarily. So at the end of the day, she was fine. But you just want to make sure that all the links and everything is all set. She did everything she was supposed to do. My mentee, she did everything she was supposed to do on her part. She was all set. Sometimes systems are not updated as well. So some of your information may not be even on the system yet. And that's something else you want to look at. So some of you that, you know, use certain systems, make sure like if your syllabus and your class information is supposed to be on like a system, like a Blackboard or something like that, you have to make sure that the information is actually there in modules and things of that sort. So at any rate, that was that example. But okay, getting into number two. Okay, so I want you to make sure that you log in, you know, with that being said, log in at least 5 to 10 minutes prior to the start time. I want you to make sure that you are the student that is actually waiting. Your professor can actually see who's waiting for the class time to start, you know, especially like on Zoom. And, you know, when you're early, you never have to worry about being late. So it'll also be a distracting to a professor that's actually teaching, and then you coming in like strolling like long after he's delved into the lesson, and you like in some waiting room. You know what I mean? That'd be messed up. Matter of fact, ooh, that'd be messed up if you come late and your professor had a waiting room and he admitted all students in by a certain time, and you was late, and he kept he kept you in that waiting room. That'd be messed up. So make sure that you're on time so you don't have to worry about stuff like that. Forgive me for laughing, but I'm picturing some professor doing that right now. So I'm trying to help you out. So let's see what else. You also don't know what settings he's using. So he or she may be doing that, or they may be doing that. You don't know. So just do what you got to do. Make sure that you show up and show up early. So number 3, before entering Zoom, make sure you place your first and your last name as your display name, or at least like your first name and like the first initial of your last name, at least. Help the professor out. You know what I mean? Like each campus and professor, of course, is going to have their own system. So, of course, follow their system. But, take initiative. Like put your name in the display. And make sure you do that like before you enter the Zoom room. So, like sometimes like with your settings, like some of you might even be using your phone. I definitely suggest using your laptop when you're coming onto class. So that you can make sure all the settings are right and everything is all good, and you're all set. So make sure that when you are entering Zoom that you have that display name there and not iPhone. That's not gonna get it, y'all. So make sure you show up. Place that, so I already told you, about your first and last name. So I wrote notes, y'all. So I'm reading over my notes too as I'm telling you. So, make sure that you're not afraid to be called upon, obviously, after you do this, because, you're actually the example, like you actually, took the initiative to do that, and it'll help other students to, kind of know what to do, or they might even follow suit, and, the professor may be like, hey, such and such, you see such and such, if you can, also, provide your name, that would be, helpful. So make sure that you do that. And, it'll help the professor to, know who's present. Also, number 4, make sure you add a clear headshot of yourself. This can be used when you turn off your camera to be seen as present. So just like you're able to like change your name before you even enter Zoom, like just like within the settings and everything, how you'd be displayed as and all that. You can also change your picture, like add a picture. Some of these things, for some of you, you might have to wait until you're actually in the Zoom to change it, and that's fine. Or what you can do, whatever Zoom that you are using, you can always just make sure this is what you do. Have Zoom, download Zoom onto your laptop, and then you can go into the settings way before you even have any links sent to you to join any meeting. Go in there, play around with it, get to know it, Google it. I can make another video to show you. I was thinking about doing that, but as of right now, I just want to let you know the things that perhaps, would help you as you're entering your first days of school this semester. So, download the Zoom, have your name there, do your renaming, add your picture, and you'll be all set. So like when you do get a link to Zoom, those settings will already be there. Now in some cases, sometimes they'll update Zoom, and sometimes those settings are not there, and you can always just fix it right quick once you get on there. But if you do it in advance, you'll be all set already. So going into number 5. So for number 5, what you do is turn your camera on. So you paid how much for tuition? I mean, be engaged, for real. See and be seen. If the class is boring, keep a little water bottle handy and maybe some little almonds, peanuts with some raisins or something like that. So you can say, whoa. That leads us to number 6. Don't be cooking or chowing down during your lesson. Give the professor your undivided attention. Show them you appreciate the ability to learn by being attentive. It's like when you're trying to have a conversation with someone and, about something really serious. And they pull out their phone and check, like checking their time or something like that. And, or they walk away. Like really? Show up. All right, number 7. Make sure you look decent. Now, seriously though, how would you actually show up to class? Now, the traditional, the jogging outfit, that's your traditional, college, roll up jogging outfit, maybe, what I mean? If you're going to roll like that, with your sweatpants and your tee, keep it simple, keep it decent. Keep it decent. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's cool to look fresh. You know what I mean? Fresh, so fresh and so clean. You know what I mean? I'm telling what era I went to college, right? Yes. But seriously, the ladies are looking, the brothers are looking. People looking. So, show up. What you wearing? All right. So, number 8, mute yourself. So, if you got mom and them watching Family Feud in the living room, okay, your whole class don't have to hear them. You know what I mean? So, yeah, they don't need to be part of the lecture. So just make sure that you are muted and that you, unmute yourself before you speak. Trust me, you'd be like, she said that in that video. Okay, so we're at number 9. So number 9 is learning where your functions are. So seriously, looking, know how to raise your hand, know how to give a little hand clap virtually, know how to give that thumbs up. So, like when your professor, maybe hints to these things that you're able to do them, that's also part of participation, being able to, show some applause and that thumbs up and or raising your hand if you have a question, that'll be helpful to you. And it also shows your engagement. Okay. Let's see what else we got. We got chat. Also, knowing how to chat is also part of that function. So, when you open up your Zoom, make sure you press chat. So chat will be open on the side. So you'll see the presentation and you'll see, anything on the side in the chat. Now, I have like 10A. 10A is like, 10 is actually chat with tat. So I already just told you the chat may be used for questions and answers, actually. So everyone is learning something. So be aware of your tone and reply in respect to your peers and your professor as well. So just telling you that, actually. Chat with tat. Show up and chat with tat. Okay, 10A, here we go. So the chat may also be used for links to an article, Google Slides, or sheets for collaborative work. So be ready with your tabs open and ready to, maneuver. So it's like you got your Zoom open. The chat is already there. If something's put in the chat, you can copy it and put it into your browser for the next tab, so just kind of be ready for whatever. All right. Number 11. Do have cool backgrounds, like just like I was like, you can upload a picture of yourself. Also make sure that you upload, well, you can, have a cool like background, but make sure it's not something distracting. So like if you put like your school logo, that'll be cool, or like your favorite spot on campus, that'll be dope. And other people will see and they'd be like, how'd you do that? That's like really engaging. That's really cool. Actually, I actually recommend that. That'll be cool. Of course, every professor's gonna be different. Like I don't know too many professors that'll be upset with you having the school logo like as your background. That's actually cool, but to each his own. Do you? But just giving y'all some helpful tips as you're going virtual and being online. Also, let's see. We are actually at number 12 already, and number 12 is very important. So this is a warning. Please note, if you turn your camera on, it is always on, and it will be on until you turn it off. So if you have your camera on waist up on purpose, okay? And somehow you think because you went to open a link or opened a new tab away from Zoom so you don't see them anymore, trust and believe they can see you. Okay? So make sure that you turn your camera off when necessary. And because you uploaded a picture of yourself, the great thing about that is when you turn the camera off, your picture will be seen. And that's something that's a great plus for like if you have to go to the restroom or something like that too when you turn off your camera. So that's just an added plus. And you also want to for the love of decency and non-disciplinary action, make sure you adhere to this knowledge. Okay. So those are 12 tips on how to show up online. So show up and show out, people, and make it happen. All right, so all the best to you, and share with a friend. Let somebody know how to show up this semester. All right, have a great week ahead. Bye-bye.